Hello and welcome to Engaging Conversations. I'm your host, Leon Goldsman, and each week we sit down with people who are reshaping how we think, live, and connect. If you're a regular listener, welcome back. It's great to have you here with us again. And if you're new, I'm so glad you found us. And if I don't say so myself, you're in good company here. Curious minds, good people, and real conversations that matter. Today's episode was recorded on location in Sydney's vibrant Paddington. Surrounded by the laughter and energy of young people discovering what it means to give back. We chose not to silence that background sound because it's more than noise. It's the heartbeat of our community, a living reminder that future voices deserve to be heard. If podcasts have a soul, this one's alive with purpose. My special guest is Zina Kaye, a technologist, innovator, board member, and an unapologetic creative force, known as the futurist who embraces the chaos. Zina's career spans the early days of the internet to today's most exciting advances in AI, sustainability and human-centered innovation. In this conversation, we explore how curiosity becomes courage, how failure fuels creativity, and why there's really no such thing as a bad idea. Zina's energy is infectious. She challenges the ordinary, celebrates the unpredictable, and reminds us that some of the best breakthroughs begin as experiments that didn't go as planned. This episode is proudly supported by Nepean Advanced Rehab and Allied Health Centre, empowering movement and restoring life through expert care delivered with compassion and results. And a special thank you to Nias Kenneth for his continued support of good people doing great things and helping connect communities through innovation and heart. So wherever you're listening, walking, driving, or dreaming up your next big idea, settle in. This one's going to make you think, laugh, and maybe even see failure a little differently. So without further ado, let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Zina Kaye. I am a technologist, an innovator, a board member, a mother. I live in Bondi, and something rather crazy about me is that I'm a dinosaur of the internet. I've been around before the first internet browser. I'm ancient technology.
You're calling yourself that, but you've also been described as the futurist who embraces the chaos. Is that true?
I am the futurist that embraces the chaos. I've embraced technology changes that were invented in sport, in porn.
In porn?
In porn.
No. Well, okay. Oh, that caught me off guard. Okay. Keep going.
Well, I don't know if you know this, but one of the first uses for technology was porn, and one of the first uses for compression was video compression for interactive CDs, where you could interact with somebody in a kind of sexual way. So I suppose a forebearer of the current AI bots that you can interact with.
Okay. I read about that in the book once. So I'm about to ask you about chaos, and you've just put some images into my mind. So I was going to say, what does it actually look like? Don't answer that. But
it was very old tech, so there were lots of menus and clicking and then just waiting for things to load, and that's where that innovation came, was like to try and reduce the load time by innovating in compression, and then that got circulated to other technologies.
I mean, I've heard that things start off because of military, because of war. But, okay, that's an interesting one. I'm sure that would have caused a lot of chaos as well, somewhere.
Well, yes, I'm the kind of person that's not afraid to go in any direction with ideas. I enjoy innovating and delivering value. So I remember when I was doing my MBA, we were doing a case study for Speciality Fashion Group. And it was around the time that Shades of Grey came out. And I could see that there was, this beginning market in, or an increased market in sex toys and things like that. So whilst all my compadres suggested things like joint ventures and shaving off a few cents in the production, I said, you've got the biggest database of women in Australia. Why don't you discreetly sell them online sex toys? And they did. They went with that idea.
Okay. Well, you've certainly embraced uncertainty into a profitable business.
Yes, I am a sought-after consultant. I'm still working with innovative technologies, more and more, I think, at scale. So neobanking, hydrogen storage. It is profitable to have that history and knowledge and understand how things play out and what innovation and the uncertainty of innovation looks like, and having that experience that you can bring to a team.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people, like the most of us, how would you recommend that they turn uncertainty into creativity rather than just fear? Because obviously fear holds people back.
Ooh, that's a really good question. I think there are three ways that people can turn uncertainty into certainty. And the first one is at an organisational level. So when you bring people through exercises where they can speak their mind and be open about their fears. This was actually a methodology that was pioneered in the British banking system. Then people can move forward because they have been open about what scares them, about what's going to go on. It's a bit like when you put your fears on the table, when you shine light on them, they become less interesting, or you can have a plan to deal with them. The second thing about uncertainty is doing small experiments to see if things work. So with Holly, we've often collaborated with people who have an idea and they don't know whether it's going to work out. And so we do little websites or little demo products, take it to market, take it to people in the value chain and test it out. And that is a really great way to know if you've got something there and then develop it. And that's
so it's kind of like a catalyst for something that might eventually become remarkable?
Yes, that's true. It can be a catalyst for something that's remarkable. I think when you're really uncertain and you know that there is a market there, or you can see it, but you want to, you're just kind of on the cusp and you've really got to kind of bring it out of your back pocket, as it were, then I always have the kind of rock and roll method of innovation, which is to try and pair it with something completely different. So it's kind of like doing a cookbook, going, okay, well, here is this product or service, but I'm going to do 10 completely surreal couplings with that idea and try and work out if that tells me anything. That's the kind of rock and roll fun version.
So it's kind of like many breakthroughs have started from something that failed once,
yes.
Potentially.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I really enjoy looking at failure, and I really enjoy talking to people who failed and turned into something else. So Australia produced this fantastic rocket that was tested in a Nordic country, and it exploded immediately. And we've actually just had another rocket that's just exploded in the Queensland.
I hope they're not using it to transport people.
No.
Anytime soon,
no.
That is, because if it's exploding, I don't want to be on that rocket.
Well, no, these are all tests. These are all tests.
Okay.
And the idea is that, there's going to be a certain amount of failure, so you put that in the budget. But you make sure that you've got lots of documentation and you're really learning from failure. And that's where failure is actually just a very similar analogue to how many no's to yes.
So why do you believe there's no such thing as a bad idea? I mean, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you again. Maybe I'll word it slightly differently. How would you see yourself helping people see the potential hidden inside something that initially looks impossible?
Well, I've got an example for you, and I think it proves that adage that there's no such thing as a bad idea. So I could see that there was something there about using unmanned technology to look at the landscape, look from up to down. And I was tooling around with some guys at a conference called Ars Electronica in Austria. They were from Holland, and we were just sort of sitting there sketching things out on a napkin one night, and I said, okay, I'll go and try and get this funded and see if we can build it. And at that point, we were using kind of off-the-rack technology for navigating mylar balloons inside. But it was all very flimsy, and even though I could write the interface to control that, I didn't have a very broad use case because it was a tiny space that it could be used in. And I discovered that through doing little experiments, buying the technology, trying it out in a big space, losing control of the balloon, smashing up the flimsy plastic technology, and then trying to work out how I would do this at a larger scale. So in the end, I built an unmanned autonomous vehicle, a giant aeroplane, model aeroplane.
You built it?
Yes, with
people.
With people. Bob Young from Silvertone Electronics and another guy called Barry Ming who helped build the model, people from the arts community here, people from the telco community. And we built this aeroplane which had a boxer engine and a 3-metre wingspan and could be flown around.
Boxer engine is in from a Porsche?
No, it's a type of engine. It's like a symmetrical engine.
Okay.
Symmetrical modern aeroplane engine.
Okay.
Yeah. We built this aeroplane, and we were kind of in competition with a university project that was funded by British Aerospace, and we got our plane in the sky before they did.
Wow.
Just because we farted around and did little experiments. And
well, it reminds me of the Wright brothers. There was a conference. All these professors and doctors and engineers and whoever these people are, they're meant to be experts and scientists, and they've got together and they said, there is absolutely no way a person will be able to fly. It's just impossible. But as they were saying at that particular time, two bicycle mechanics, Wilbur and Orvin, they were flying.
Yeah.
So you just don't know what's going on.
Yes.
Yeah, people have to believe, don't they?
Yes, they do. They do. And I think also it's not only that people have to believe, but also people, if you've got a roadmap, even if it's not the correct roadmap, it's still a map that's going to take you
somewhere.
And then as humans, we do a bit of correction. We can't help it.
So, Zina, your work sits at the intersection of technology, innovation and humanity. And I mean, humanity is an important one because that's kind of how you and I met. And it's not just gadgets and data. So how do you make technology human again so that it serves people rather than overwhelms them?
So I come from the world of human experience using computers.
And that's what we started off on.
That's what we started off on.
But we evolved somewhere else now.
And that has turned into service design, which means that on one hand, we build things which have a tech interface and a huge back end or click into other things. And then at some point, a human is using this and they're also using offline things. And that's been very much the philosophy of Holly Sydney. So one of the earliest clients of ours was Sydney Dance Company. And we built them a new website and created their first archive of all the posters and images that they had and all the ephemera of all the ballets that they put on. And then they had this problem where they wanted to sell more tickets. And we put in a bridge to a ticket selling website. And I also said, but you also need to put some paper signs up in your dance classes because that's, you have so much throughput of people in those dance classes. If you put ticket sales up there, then you're going to sell tickets there. And they did, of course,
It's a good thing they listened to you.
Yeah, they made an awful amount of money that year. Huge. So when I think about solving problems or building systems for banks, museums, property companies, I'm always thinking about making it the best experience for the human, not using technology just because it's fashionable, and I hope this word's okay, and not kind of pandering to enshittification, which is that idea of putting in technology that just makes people's lives worse, like AI chatbots, for example, for technical support.
A lot of them, and I think they're taking the mickey out of people because the technology, it makes people feel like they're smart, but that's the danger. because smart people
Yeah.
don't feel that way. Smart
Yeah.
people are always wanting to learn more. They admit that they don't know everything. That suddenly you've got this tool, but you've got this platform and it tells you how smart you are. It's literally peeing in someone's pocket and telling them how unreal they are and agrees with them. And so they walk away feeling like they're so smart, and that's dangerous.
It is.
That's dangerous.
Yeah.
But you have helped governments, startups, and even skeptics navigate innovation. And you've got a good knack for that. Zina, what's the most common barrier you see holding leaders back from embracing new ideas?
I think the most common barrier I see for leaders to embrace new ideas is heuristics. So I think that people have a vision of what something will be like. They'll have a shared understanding around what will be approved, and then that's it, and that doesn't allow them to think beyond that.
So they're kind of putting themselves in a box.
Yeah, basically. So what I try and do is obviously run workshops, mentor people to think outside the box. At the moment, a lot of my focus is on how we're going to work with our humans and not retrench them, not replace them by technology, because we're going to end up in a position where we don't have any consumers.
Yeah, but the thing is, technology is a great thing because I just think that people are using it wrong. Technology is a great way to improve productivity. When I say that, I mean, sometimes the tedious tasks are the important ones.
Yeah.
It's not what you come up with, it's how you got there.
Yes. I absolutely agree with you, but there's something really key here, which is if you've got that heuristic and you haven't done the research first, then you're often building something which doesn't answer the problem. So let me give you an example. I was working with a company that really wanted to put in a CRM, and basically we looked at the value chain and the service map of how people touch point the various points of the business and what they want. And so they were dead set on collecting people's details, whereas all people wanted to do was pay their bills online. That's all they wanted to do, and then download some data occasionally for calendars, timetables, things like that. But the heuristic at the board level was, we need a CRM. People want customized emails, basically, that tell them that we care about them. But that's not what they care about.
No, that's right. It just goes to show that people aren't listening. They think they know everything.
Yeah.
Jamming their products and services down people's throats.
Yes.
And that's what we're seeing a lot of.
Yes. I mean, unfortunately, that's business, is that you productize or servicize a business, and then it's easy to sell in a particular way, sort of seems to solve a problem, but doesn't. In this case...
It's like selling snake oil. It seems to solve the problem at the time. When you see companies that actually have done well and succeeded, it's not because they're trying to sell. They're not the sellers. They understand people's problems.
Yes.
I think that's where it all should start, understanding why we do what we do.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, like you and I, people don't want to be machines serving the, for example, LinkedIn machine, the whole kind of human resources thing. I've got to change my resume again so that the machine will analyse it correctly this time, and I really want to get into that sorting hat. How is that making lives more productive?
Well, it's not. As soon as people say, I've got to do this, they've lost power.
Yeah.
I've been in situations where I spend a lot of time in regional parts of New South Wales, and I travel where I want to go and how I want to go, most of the time anyway. And if I do end up coming to a meeting or a particular appointment or doing something that other people may not want to do, people say to me, you're here because you have to.
Yes. Yeah.
No, I don't. If I don't want to go there, I don't come.
Yep.
I don't turn up. And that's because I've got the ability to choose. That's empowering.
Yep.
And people don't have to try and please all these people on social media that they don't even know. People are bragging. They're going, I've got 30,000 followers. Well, guess what?
these 30,000 people could be a bunch of dodos for all I know. How many of them actually spend money with you?
Yes.
How many of them actually made your life better?
Yep, totally.
Instead, what they've done is they've taken up your precious time.
Yep.
Try and please people you don't know.
Yes.
And I think what's important is I'd rather have one or two real connections and knowing that I'm everything to those people
Yes.
rather than a little bit of something to everybody.
Yes. I'm with you there.
Well, and if anyone would know how to serve the very people that you represent, it would be you. Because you do serve on multiple boards, from University of New South Wales to ANAWIMS. Did I say that right?
The ANAWIM, yep.
ANAWIM, where innovation meets compassion. What does innovation from the heart mean to you?
That innovation with a heart is just should be the catch cry for our century, really, shouldn't it? Because we've got so many great ideas and we've got really passionate people and people want to do something, and so let's put the two together. So ANAWIM is a charity that takes people out to lunch. We're solving the problem of loneliness and, I suppose, not feeling like you're at the table, being unseen, not feeling like you have a voice, that you're worthy. So we take groups out like Wayside Chapel, Northern Beaches Women Shelter, the Burdekin Group, Southeastern Community Connect, and take them out to lunch, have a sit-down meal and chat, let them relax, let them be served, have fine food, and be a different version of themselves.
So people can be a different version of themselves, but it's the version they want to be. Maybe it's the real version of themselves that they've been suppressing because they didn't feel comfortable they could. What do you think about that?
I totally agree. I think that people do suppress that version of themselves because they are down on themselves. You know, they're in a kind of mental construct. But also, having said that, a lot of our guests have come from a place where they haven't felt safe, or they just really are they're in a period of great change. Maybe they've left a relationship with a child. They don't have that network in place. So our lunches also allow this kind of intergenerational meeting, so people can, maybe find that babysitter or talk to young people and not feel like they're just kind of locked in their own bubble. Because we kind of are being separated out in society, aren't we?
I don't think so much separated out. I would probably describe it as more closing ourselves in.
Yes, yeah. No, I see what you mean there, yes.
Because all this technology is meant to bring us closer to each other, really.
Yes, yeah.
But what it does the complete opposite. People lose that human interaction.
Yes.
I've seen personal experiences where people are no longer picking up the phone and reaching out anymore. It's all emails.
Yes.
And the problem with that is, and I'm not going to talk about the conversations I have with my staff, but I could tell you that when we have an event and when we do something, I'll pick up the phone and call people. And if there's 150 of them, I'll call at least half of those people.
Yep.
Some I'll send a message because I don't want to talk to them. No, I'm kidding. I'll talk to anyone. No, I'm kidding.
I know.
I apologise to anyone who've gone to my events who didn't get a call from me. I promise you, I love you.
You just ran out of time on the call list. Chatting away. How's it going? Oh, let me tell you about...
Well, they could have called me, No, they usually do. No, we can joke about it. And that's how you know you're on good terms with people.
Yes, yeah.
They're still in your phone book.
Yes, yeah. No, totally. Well, I do think that one of the barriers to entry, though, is how we present. So there are a lot of people that turn up to the lunches in their best clothes, which they might have sort of cobbled together in a way. I talk to people a bit about particularly people who come early to lunch. I ask them how they got here, what they've been doing that day. We've got a lot of people who don't have teeth, who don't have their front teeth, because with homelessness, there's a lot of violence, and they'll have lost their teeth and then not being able to get more teeth until they've kind of finished programs, or they might have a voucher to get more teeth, but they don't feel comfortable enough to get teeth. And
that would probably affect the way that they smile or don't smile.
Well, or even that they don't want to come to lunch with other people because they don't want to be seen to be kind of spitting.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, I try and immediately make people feel incredibly comfortable about that, because everybody should be there and have a good time. I have the best conversations with our guests. I really do.
Well, I can see why. I don't think there's a topic you can't turn into an innovative discussion.
And also, I mean, we make a lot of assumptions about people and socioeconomically, and then what they read and understand. Some of the most interesting conversations about ChatGPT I've had have been with our guests, from Wayside or from Southeastern Community Connect, who are observing people use this technology with the eye of an anthropologist, and Riley noticing how the good and the bad, I suppose.
Well, one of the things you're a warrior on.
Zina, warrior princess.
Zina. You've used that one before, haven't you?
I have. People used to go down the corridor at AGSM.
Do they still do that?
Yes, there are one or two that
okay,
do.
I'm sure after people listen to this program, you probably get a few more.
Yeah.
Especially if you come to a networking event. If they don't, I will.
Yep.
So you've been an advocate for climate adaptation, especially for chillaxed people. Why do you believe modernisation and cultural diversity might be the key to solving our biggest environmental challenges?
Oh, that's an interesting question. I mean, let me break that down into two parts. So the first thing is...
That's how politicians answer questions. You ask them one thing, they'll break it down, they'll give you an answer, and it's got nothing to do with the question.
Well, it's just chillaxed, modernisation, diversity. They're three, words that, need a bit of weaving, don't they?
Yep, that's exactly what they say. No, I'm not.
So, environmentalism and climate adaptation for chillaxed people means we all really enjoy our lives. We enjoy our creature comforts. We have an extraordinary level of lifestyle here in Australia, and I don't want to separate anybody from their aeroplane rides or their steak or whatever it is. I don't think we need to do that. But one thing that I do think that we can do, for example, is take an example from permaculture and not mow our grass shorter than 10 centimetres. Because then, that creates a micro climate which traps carbon and so on and so forth, has multiple benefits. And, it's all these small changes that we can do. But you don't have to do anything. It's like a set and forget, It's like watering in ground, having a bit of plumbing tube that goes into your garden bed where you put your scraps is much easier and cheaper than sending it somewhere else.
And usually they send our recycled waste by trains and other transport that uses fuel. Go figure, the hypocrisy.
Yes.
And people buy into that.
Yes. I was actually complaining to my youngest son yesterday as he put a tin in tinned tomatoes in the main rubbish, and I said, well, council has to pay more to separate that out. So just with modernisation, I did propose to Waverley Council to be thinker in residence and do these projection artworks for the launch of FOGO to basically represent rubbish and green waste and food waste in a really beautiful way using photography and projection at night on some of our kind of monuments.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
What a great idea.
I know, it is. I didn't get the thinker in residence, but I still would really like to do that.
Doesn't matter. It's the process.
Yes.
But if we try sometime, we
get what we need.
That's it. So, Zina, always a pleasure to talk to you. And one of the things is that you inspired so many to find courage in experimentation and playfulness. For listeners who feel stuck or afraid of failure, what is the first step that they can take to turn curiosity into contribution?
Ooh. If people want to use their curiosity, do some experimentation, then doing it within your community often is a great place to start. Whatever community you belong to, there are always problems to solve. And that curiosity starts with asking questions around what problems need to be solved. But just start with something close to your heart and grow it from there.
Well, that is some really good advice there. Zina, I've really enjoyed this conversation. I'm sure a lot of people are going to love listening to it and they're going to want to learn more. If anyone wants to connect with you, what is the best way for them to contact you?
So thank you so much, Leon. I've just had the best time and you're a lot of fun, and I hope that we maybe get to do another episode over cake perhaps or something.
Cake. Did you say cake?
So if people want to find me, I'm on LinkedIn, Zina Kaye. I have a little website called Growth Dynamics, and I'm on Twitter at Zina Kaye, and you can find me at Holly Sydney as well.
Holly as in Holly.
Ly. Yes, Holly Sydney.
Yep. I'm going to have all those things in the show notes as well. So,
okay.
So you don't have to rush and get a pen, those people listening. And then after,
click below.
And then click below. All the information will be there. Zina, thank you so much. It's really fun.
Thank you. Please like and subscribe, Leon.
Yes. That was fantastic.
Thank you so much, Leon.
Now, that was a conversation bursting with creativity, courage, and chaos in the best possible way. Zina Kaye reminds us that innovation doesn't just happen in straight lines. It's messy, unpredictable, and often born from the ideas we're told won't work. But as Zina clearly shows us, when we stay curious, play with possibilities, and dare to experiment, we open the door to breakthroughs that can, and often do, change everything. If there's one thing to take away from today's conversation, it's this: don't silence the noise. I'm going to repeat that again. Don't silence the noise. Because whether it's the laughter of the kids in the background or the spark of a wild idea, sometimes the things we overlook are exactly what makes life and innovation meaningful. A huge thank you once again to Nepean Advanced Rehab and Allied Health Centre, where every day is about empowering movement and restoring life. And of course, Nias Kanev for his ongoing support of good people doing great things and for helping amplify the voices of those making a real difference. If today's episode made you smile, sparked an idea, or challenged how you think, share it with someone ready to embrace a little chaos and curiosity in their own life. I'm Leon Goldsman, and this has been Engaging Conversations, where purpose meets people. And until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and let's continue doing great things together.